Well, it's over. The deal with the devil has officially been called off. The impossible has happened. Disney has finally dumped Doctor Who. And you know things are bad when even Disney, the company that greenlit The Acolyte and She-Hulk, looks at your show and says, yeah, this is too woke for us. That's like getting kicked out of clown college for being too ridiculous. This wasn't a friendly creative breakup. This was a corporate execution. Buckle up, folks. This is the story of how to kill a 60-year-old franchise in just 2 years. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to The Critical Nerd, where we dissect pop culture catastrophes with sarcasm, caffeine, and unfiltered truth. After 2 seasons, a handful of specials, and some truly dismal ratings, Disney has pulled the plug on its partnership with the BBC for Doctor Who. The news broke yesterday, actually, October 28th, 2025, and let's be honest, it wasn't shocking. It was inevitable. Disney's packing its mouse ears and getting the hell out of the TARDIS, leaving the BBC to pick up the pieces of a brand that's creatively bankrupt and financially comatose. So let's travel back in time and see how this once great show crash-landed into a corporate black hole. Let's rewind back to 2005. The wilderness years were over, and Doctor Who, a dusty old relic of British television, came roaring back to life thanks to a lifelong fan named Russell T. Davies. With Eccleston and then Tennant at the helm, the revival wasn't just a reboot, it was a cultural resurrection. It was clever, it was heartfelt, it was fun. Families actually watched together. Kids hid behind the sofa just like their parents did. Episodes pulled 8, 9, even 10 million viewers every week. It honored 60 years of lore while building something new. It was proudly, weirdly British. But the whole world loved it. That was the golden age, the magic, the benchmark every era after would fail to meet. Let's now fast forward to 2022. The BBC gets into bed with Disney. The House of Mouse promises global reach, glossier production, and bigger budgets. £10 million an episode, or $13.3 million an episode, if you're tracking USD. 2 seasons, multiple specials, and a spinoff later. Disney dumped roughly $345 million into the show. That's House of Dragon money. That's Mandalorian money. And the result? Space babies. Yeah, that was an actual episode. This was supposed to make Doctor Who a global blockbuster franchise. Instead, it made it a corporate product. The first red flag? Suddenly, the new season wasn't season 14, it was season 1. Because nothing says respect your legacy like pretending it never existed. Bringing back Tennant for the 60th was a brilliant nostalgia bait. But it was a setup for the bait and switch that followed. The Disney money didn't elevate Doctor Who, it diluted it. They didn't just plant the seeds of failure, they engineered them in a lab for maximum brand safety. Now the autopsy. In corporate Hollywood, the only thing that matters is the bottom line, and the numbers here are brutal. The 2023 Christmas special, The Church on Ruby Road, brought in 4.7 million viewers, already the lowest rated Christmas special in modern Doctor Who history. Then came the series proper. Episode 1, Space Babies, 2.6 million. Episode 2, down another 200,000. Episode 3, Boom, 2.04 million, the lowest overnight in franchise history. Now, for a little perspective here, Tennant and Smith regularly pulled in 9 to 10 million viewers. Whittaker's premiere did 10.9 million. Even the 1980s cancellation era episodes hit 4 to 6 million. This new mega budget version was getting numbers that would have meant instant cancellation in any previous decade. And in the US, nothing. Didn't chart, didn't trend, didn't even graze Nielsen's top 10. Disney didn't buy a sci-fi juggernaut. They bought the Marvel's TARDIS edition. If you think legacy franchises deserve better than to be used as disposable props for corporate messaging, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Smash like, ring the bell so you don't miss future videos, and tell me in the comments, when did you stop watching Doctor Who, and do you think the BBC can possibly salvage what's left of this train wreck? All right, back to the disaster. The real failure here wasn't financial, it was creative. Under RTD's second run, Doctor Who stopped being about adventure and became a platform for lectures. Characters weren't people, they were talking points. Dialogue sounded like a college essay read aloud by a sociology major. RTD openly said he wanted to make the show, and I quote, queer and politically progressive. I mean, that's cool, just also make it good. When criticism came, Gatwa himself told fans, don't watch, go touch grass. And they did. Millions of them. They gambled on a new demographic and lost both the old and the new. Now, the fandom is a war zone, and the show's the collateral damage. Then Gatwa leaves after 2 seasons, regenerating into Billy Piper? Because apparently progressive storytelling means turning everyone into their own nostalgia reboot. Disney's breakup letter hit on October 28, 2025. The BBC tried to spin it, and I quote, we'd like to thank Disney Plus for being terrific global partners. Translation? Thanks for the cash. Sorry it all exploded. Doctor Who remains one of our most beloved dramas. By what metric exactly? Russell T. Davies will write another spectacular Christmas special in 2026. 2026. One special. Over a year away. That's not momentum. That's called life support. Disney didn't walk over creative differences. It walked because the show was a financial black hole. A $345 million money pit with the lowest ratings in franchise history. For 2 years, fans who criticized it were labeled toxic. Now Disney's accountants just proved them right. That 2026 special, it's the, see, we're still friends, selfie after a bad breakup. So where does that leave Doctor Who? The BBC stuck with a franchise that's damaged, divisive, and drained of funding. Without Disney's wallet, those glossy cinematic visuals are gone. No more $13 million per episode budgets. We're heading back to Corey painted blue territory, except now the scripts aren't clever enough to hide the seams. Do they double down on politics and pretend the audience is wrong? Or admit they messed up and try to win back the fans they spent 2 years mocking? Either way, they're trapped in a creative paradox even the TARDIS can't escape. Here's the part that stings. It was avoidable. Every warning light flashed during the Whittaker era. Instead of course correcting, they hit the accelerator and swerved off a cliff. Doctor Who survived Daleks, Cybermen, and 16 years off air. It couldn't survive Twitter validation in Disney's checkbook. Just like Star Wars, Marvel, and Indiana Jones, Disney took another beloved icon, filled it with corporate messaging, and watched it implode. If failure had regenerations, Disney would be on Doctor 27. Audiences aren't stupid. They know when they're being preached to. And when you tell them, if you don't like it, don't watch, they won't. The Disney experiment was doomed from the start. It was built on a misunderstanding of what Doctor Who even is. They didn't see a beloved 60-year-old story. They saw IP to be exploited. Disney didn't kill Doctor Who. The BBC did that themselves. Disney's exit just pulled back the curtain and showed us the rot underneath. Yeah, there'll be a 2026 Christmas special. Yes, there'll probably be another series after that. But the brand's tarnished. The fans are fractured. And that golden age magic, it's gone. We're left with the ghost of what was, and a TARDIS drifting in space with no way home. The BBC insists the Doctor isn't going anywhere. Sure, and maybe next time he'll travel through time and space instead of Twitter hashtags. Until then, rest in peace, Doctor. I'm the Critical Nerd reminding you, woke goes broke every single time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.